Sag, welcome to your reading for November 2022. Just saying, Sag, happy pre-early birthday. I know it feels like your birthday is a month long away, and it is, but I did want to go ahead and give you guys an early birthday shout out just because I may not be able to do your readings the week of Thanksgiving because it's the week of Thanksgiving. Everybody travels with their family. So giving you guys a little bit of a birthday shout out here. That being said, Sag, I did want to go ahead and point a few things out. I do apologize for not being here for October. I had some legal issues come up, and I also have a family member whose car basically needs a new engine. So you know how that goes. Um, so my help has been needed a little bit more. So now they're getting they're getting a new car this weekend. So that should be resolved. That being said, I do happen to have here a few things I have to mention before we start your reading. And that is one, I actually have a website now. I built one for you guys during Mercury retrograde. I tweaked everything out, fine-tuned everything. So now you can actually order directly from me personal readings down in the description box below at the website. Coaching sessions, emergency readings, all of that is down in the description box below. I also have available on there the full moon reading in Aries. For those of you who like my full moon tarot readings, they are going to be posted on there now for purchase. And you might as well check into the Aries full moon as a recap just to see what actually did come through to fruition. So that way when Taurus's full moon rolls around, you know what to expect, you know what to look out for. That being said, I also have tickets to my Halloween live. It is going to be Halloween 31st, October 31st, but it's going to be at 1 o'clock in the morning, Halloween morning. The reason being is because since said car has been acting up, cars now have to be ordered where I live. So my car may still be used by others, and I have to be somewhere at 7 p.m. Halloween night. So I decided I'm going to do a Halloween live at 1 a.m. before I go to bed. And to anyone who watches my stuff in the UK and over in like the Asian Peninsula, which is what I like to call India, Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand, all of that side of the globe, you guys will be able to, and also Europe too, you guys will be able to have access to my readings at that time, a little bit more so than my fellow United States, Canadian, Mexico kind of people, because we'll all be asleep ideally. I won't be, but they will. So for anyone who does reside in US, Canada, and Mexico, and you want to watch my reading, you can stay up till 1 a.m., but you don't have to. I will do a recording that I will sell on the website. I have to create it as a listing once I get your fairy blessings done. Also, just a note, if you want to keep up with me, follow me on my OnlyFans. It's free to join. You guys get updates. I email you all with exclusive content when I have it posted or when I'm taking readings. Especially my OnlyFans subscribers. I feel like they should get that information first. When you join the website, you actually get access to a free newsletter. So just kind of FYI, you can also join the email list. And I have a Patreon page that has exclusive content every month for all of the signs. So I did want to go ahead and point that out. Now, Sag, let's go ahead and get into your fairy blessings. What's coming through in terms of your fairy blessings. I actually shuffled off camera before I started, so this is probably going to be the last good shuffle. So show me, please, fairy divine guidance. My beautiful. Oh, we already got one, Sag. Wow, that was quick. See? All right, one more message direct, please. Okay, Scorpio got this, but this isn't here for you yet. I think I know why, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and put that back in the deck. So show me, please, for Sagittarius for November 2022. What are oh, Sag, we've been working on this one all year. It's okay, though. It's not bad. It just makes me a little sad for you guys, but I know kind of ideally what's going on, especially with your 12th house, endings and new beginnings. Things kind of get like that. Not really settled. And you know, Sag, it's okay to be a little misunderstood right now. because Scorpio is always misunderstood. So your endings and new beginnings are probably misunderstood at this moment in time. So give me just a second. I want to get to this and then we're going to get to this one. Okay. So Sagittarius, I have here a fairy blessing of connection. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck, Sag. And this is such an interesting card because it came up for Cancer in September and now it's come up for you. And this isn't about like, oh, how we crave connection. This is actually interesting because, you know, a lot of people think that fairies are ethereal beings and they don't have jobs and they get to like lollygag and do whatever, but that's not true. Fairies are very important to the natural world. They're elements, they're guardians. They're sometimes they're not guardians. It also varies too on what element they're protecting and what element they are. And I feel for you, Sagittarius. So you're always so fire, and this card alone gives off very heart chakra vibes. Um, which is the pink and the green. But the interesting part about this card is the hummingbird. Hummingbirds are a part of my actual spiritual animal totem. So whenever I see hummingbirds, especially on this card, I know it's a sign you guys are going through psychic development and psychic intuitive awareness, and it's growing, but it's also showing through your relationships because this is a card that does deal with relationships, but also it's not just about connection in terms of just connecting to anybody. This is about in terms of connecting to who you are and also your spirit guides. Hummingbird is a very powerful spirit guide and it is a very important sign when it appears. Now, I actually had one pop up in dreams before I had it pop up in my daily life. And that was very important as well, because at that point in time, I was just starting this out, and it actually highlighted that this process of becoming a reader, it's a journey and it's a hard journey. And Sagittarius, hard journeys are sometimes marked with difficult beginnings, but beautiful blessings. So just kind of keep that in mind, Sag. But, you know, the blessing of connection is also talking about our connection to nature, definitely. And with the heart chakra as well, because the heart chakra is how we connect to ourselves, to our friends, to our fifth house of love and romance, to with our Venus. And if you don't know astrology and you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my website. I will do a reading for you. Do it on the emergency session tab because I think those have some astrology ones in them. Some of my recorded listings and personal readings, they also have astrology in them, but not a lot. I haven't been able to necessarily add all of them too much because I didn't want to overwhelm you guys with all the tarot and oracle card readings first. So I wanted to put that out though, or you can put in a request. I'm sure we'll be able to work something out, custom session. But I did want to point that out, Sag. This is rather important because this is not just like, oh, you're psychically connecting. No. You psychically are tapped in. And Jupiter should be, if he isn't direct now, he will be soon. And he will be direct in Aries, which for you, Sagittarius, is a fellow fire sign and you will be able to expand. But again, it's only on things you've already gotten started or will be getting started. And at this point in time, Sagittarius, to understand how things are going to develop, you have to have connection to it. You have to have passion, of course, and you have to be inspired, but you also need your wisdom, which your wisdom and your insight. And it's so interesting that I'm talking about this because I actually saw Shine Down last month and I have listened to them for 20 years, okay, since 2003 when I was like in middle school. And I finally got to see them live October 1st. And Brent Smith, I didn't realize how spiritual that concert was going to be. Usually, concerts, I always have fun at them, but this one was different. It was spiritual in the sense of uplifting and reminding me of something that even I needed, which Sag, I feel like for this month, that's what you do need to focus on. But yes, that show was epic. They sounded just like they did on the record. They invited everybody to sing. It was amazing and it was such a good time. And that's something that I needed to kind of get me through what has been going on in the background that you guys don't know about because I'm not ready to share it. But, and I say that, and I'm going to lead off with that into your next card, Sag, because your next card is a blessing of being understood. Again, Sagittarius, this has been a year of 2022 where you were constantly, this card has come up 4 freaking times for you. And I'm not necessarily bothered that it's coming up for you. I am concerned, though, that the people in your environment are not giving you the true connection you're seeking. And what's happening is you are being misunderstood. And the beauty of this Fae blessing is the Fae will lead you to people, places, and things where you are accepted, loved, and connected to. Yes, most definitely. But until then, with the blessing of being understood, you have the Fae that are around you right now that are connecting to you, that want you to know you are understood. You are being understood by somebody correctly, even if it's not the people in your own environment, even if it is ethereal. In the ethereal realm, it is still happening. And in fact, they understand that right now, the Fae, like this is a dragon and a fairy, and they understand that right now where you're at, whenever I have pulled this card, even for myself, it is a gentle reminder to not be hard on myself. And I think, Sag, that's kind of what you're doing right now. You're being hard on yourself and you're overcompensating because you feel like no one is listening and or no one can hear you correctly. Baby, it's not that they can't hear you. They can hear you. They just might not understand you, which is very different than not listening. Because sometimes people can listen and they can obtain it. But sometimes some people listen and they can listen and they write it down, but that doesn't mean they understand the context of what they're writing down. Okay? So I'm saying this to you to help you understand that this month, even though you feel misunderstood, there are those in the ethereal realm, in the Fae realm, who are connecting to you. And if you want to connect with them, make sure you ask through Goddess Freya that only, the Fae beings that mean well, that want to connect with you, come to you and mean right by you and aren't going to cause any problems. Because I think that's important, but that they shine a light on how you can work on becoming understood by others. Okay. Because also, I feel like we need to have a discussion on okay, there are people who want to understand you, but maybe they don't. And so they'll clarify. And then there are people who say they want to understand you, but they really don't want to. And so they don't ask further questions. Those are the people that I think this month you need to take a break from. You need to take time away from because you can explain yourself all day long, but until they're truly open in their heart space, they're only going to continue to make you feel more isolated. Okay. And that's not saying they're a bad person. For all I know, and I say for all we know because I'm talking to you as like a group here, for all we know, they just may not understand something and they may not be ready. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means they're not ready. You know, it's like, it's like learning, okay, you know how everybody has to learn how to go potty? Okay. And you know how kids at certain stages kind of psych themselves out? Think of it like that. Okay. This person or this situation or this group, whoever it is you're trying to get to understand you, they're at the phase where they're about to come into pull ups. They're not ready for the potty by themselves. Okay. I can't believe I gave that reference, but that's the best way I can explain it because you're ready. You're ready to go by yourself. You're ready. You don't need nobody. You got it. You took care of yourself. Okay. But they're not there yet. So you have to think of that kind of that immaturity level. But that was the best way. That was the best analogy I could explain because we all go through that. Like we all go through that hump at one game, one phase or another. And then there are people who like, unfortunately, they have Crohn's disease or they have colitis or they have things that cause them to not be able to pull potty and they can't explain that to their people because other people don't understand. It's a real thing. Okay. It's a real thing. But my point is we all still have that struggle. And at some point or another, the explanation may get lost in translation, but eventually people catch up. Okay. But until then, don't take on other people's misconceptions and misconstruedness of what you are, don't take that on yourself. You don't need that. You do not need that. You don't need that crap, especially a month before your birthday. I want you to focus on what you're wrapping up on in your endings and then work on your new beginnings, because that is exactly what Scorpio is going to do. I want you to psychically feel it out. I want you to go in, look at, and I told Scorpio this, I'm going to tell you this, because see, your 12th house is the 12th house of sex, death, renewal, taxation, and magic. What exactly do you think I want you to go in on, Sag? I want you to use those themes to help you bring about endings and new beginnings in positive ways that are all consensual and or legal, okay? So I'm pointing that out because I don't need you guys doing things that aren't necessary for you right now. If you're like, look, I have a partner and I want to be with them in the physical, great. They want to be with you in the physical, great. But if they're not making the effort, don't force it, okay? And I'm not just talking about in terms of sex and sexuality. I'm talking about in terms of maybe that things aren't lining up right now. And if you feel misunderstood by your partner, gently explain to them why it's important you want to physically bond to them. Is it one of your love languages? Is it something that you are trying, like a void you're trying to fill? Because if so, then you need to go work on that before you can come back to them. You see what I'm talking about, okay, Sag? You see what I'm talking about. So I don't necessarily have to worry about you too much, Sag. You know what to do. You know that you have the wisdom within you to move further and farther along. You will get there in time. You just need right now to focus on what is most important to you at this moment in time to then move forward. Okay. Other than that, Sagittarius, we got seconds left. I love you guys so very much. I will see you in November. It might be around Deacon 1 of your birthday. So like second to the last week of November for sure. I love y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Again, go to my website. Everything is down there. It's a project that I've been working on for the last 2 months, and I decided to kick it off. Sorry, kick it off. So check all that out. If you want an emergency reading, go there. If you want a coaching session, go there. You want a personal tarot, oracle card reading, karmic reading, go to my website. Sign up for the email list. Get the newsletter so you can get the newsletter. So you can find out also about all of my holiday stuff, because believe it or not, y'all, I'm gearing up for holiday. I'm going to be here for readings for holiday, okay? Join the subscription to stay up to date on what I'm doing, what projects I'm working on, and my Patreon page for your exclusive content with a selected oracle card session and reading. Until then, I love y'all so very much. I will see you soon. Bye, Sagittarius.